Welcome to Talking Heads on USA Global TV, starring the one and only wonderful Dr. Jacalyn. It's a prestigious place where world-class influencers and experts meet, and where you'll find the most trusted advisors and coaches for all things in life and business. Visit usaglobaltv.com to sign up for our newsletter, get the value you need, and be first in line to learn about events and giveaways and other valuable content. Connect with us. Email Dr. Jacalyn at usaglobaltv.com to talk about how you can become part of USA Global TV. That's USA Global TV, where the doctor is always in.
Hello, everyone, and welcome, or hopefully it's welcome back to USA Global TV and Business Talk Radio. I'm Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck, and it must be Friday because I'm meeting with pet psychic Aminah and our guest for today. This is our 52nd show, Aminah, and I wanted to let you know that Chris from Business Talk Radio specifically told me to say hello to you. Let us introduce pet psychic Aminah. She is so much more than a pet psychic, which in and of itself is pretty profound. She is a person who leads her life with her heart. She has incredible love and care for our planet and wants us to understand that it's not all about us as humans. It's about sharing this planet. It's about respecting all of the other wonderful, beautiful creatures. We might not understand them all, especially the mosquito. We have that one on the list about, dear God, why? But she is a trainer. She's a public speaker, and she is my friend. Let's bring her on. Pet psychic Aminah. Welcome.
Thank you so much. Wow, your intros get better and better. I just like to have you write my resume and all that type of stuff. But it's fun.
It's 52 weeks. How about that?
I can't believe it. It's just amazing, and it's in the beginning you go, oh, am I doing the right thing? Yeah, I love telling people what I do and that type of stuff. And Zoom has given us, and now StreamYard has given us, and so many other platforms have given us that opportunity to be there for everybody. And I really want everybody to think about how lucky we are to live in the digital age we are. I have a family member that got to get married with 5 countries represented. 5 countries. Everybody understand? I'm not talking about states. The U.S. was represented also. But she was stuck in another country for a pandemic, and she's got people from the Middle East and Mexico and just Canada, everywhere, and they all got to attend. Italy came, Spain came, and they all just logged on. All they had to do was put on a nice shirt. And I'll tell you, the cost of the wedding was really, really reasonable.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah. And we owned the Zoom, so her sister and I owned the Zoom. That it was a bigger one, and then the StreamYard one that we added to it. It was wonderful. So I really want everybody to start with gratitude. Today I want you to start with gratitude, and that's the intro you gave me. So thank you. I am so grateful.
Well, thank you. Back at you. And I have to make sure I don't hide this cat. We want everybody to be represented.
And I'm like, honest, I'm not pink. I have one teeny little background, and I have every window open and all the lights, can lights over and everything. I'm thinking, I still look pink. Okay.
You look great. Don't worry about it. Aminah, I'm going to spotlight you, and I want you to tell people about your work as not only a pet psychic. There are a lot of people in need of a pet psychic, in need of a psychic, but also someone to speak to when it comes to training. And then we'll bring out our guest for today.
Absolutely. And my guests are a plethora of professions. I'm not just sticking to this one. So please come and join us and let us know what you're going through, because I can help in so many ways. One of my greatest passion is coexisting. And I mean that on every terms, from that you are walking on the sidewalk and somebody drops a package and they don't see it and you stop to pick it up and hand it back. This is as simple as coexisting can be. What Dr. Jacalyn and I have covered is how to leave the spiders alone in your bathroom and get the cup, you have the Christmas cup that you never use, the plastic one, and you scoop them up and you just walk them outside. She lives in a place where they have alligators on the golf course all the time. So personally, I would stop golfing, but I also am not passionate about golfing. So I want to talk about these everyday occurrence. I belong to a walking group and really helping them. And we're all digital, by the way. We're all over the US, and we've been doing this way, I don't know, 3-4 years now. At least I have. And how do you deal with a dog that charges you, that is loose, not collared or not leashed, and they charge you from the house you're walking by on a public sidewalk? A lot of people, of course, we go to fear. Of course, we go to that. But what I'm going to talk about is how to go from a place of strength. Fear is not a place of strength. And an animal, especially a dog, which is a carnivore, herbivore, kind of eats all of it, and they are protecting their property, they're protecting their family, they're protecting their puppies. Whatever the reason is for the aggression, it is what I want to help you understand so that it doesn't turn into World War III on the driveway. Because I'll tell you, those nails and the canines that dog has, you probably will lose. Their teeth are meant to shred. Their teeth are meant to shred meat and that type of stuff. And ours simply aren't. So what do you do? Well, I'm going to give you strength, and I'm going to bolster you up, and I'm going to tell you the ways you do have power to make a difference. So join us. We covered lots of things. And if you have a specialty, call me, email me. bridgingworlds.us is my website. And I would love to have somebody who's giving back. And that's who my guest is today, another person that is giving back and teaching us so much about a world I have no knowledge of. So that's why I bring in experts from other places. So thank you, Dr. Jacalyn, for letting Lisa and I both enjoy your company today.
Well, thank you. It's an absolute pleasure. So let's bring her onto the platform. Welcome. It's nice to see you again. I forget when you were here. Was it maybe 6 months ago or so?
Maybe, yeah, about 3.
There are 3? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for having me back. I'm so excited to be here. And I was listening to all that you're saying. I'm like, I'm so happy that they're doing this because all that they're sharing is so important. And I'm so happy that the episodes are recorded because I want to go back and listen to all of what you're saying, the ones that I've missed, the things that I don't know, the things that I've heard and I have forgotten. So thank you both for doing this.
Absolutely.
Well, it's our pleasure. It's a labor of love, I would say. And I always say this, and I really mean it. At the end of Friday, after Aminah and I say goodbye and I race over to Solidcore to work out, not a paid spokesperson, I sit about how much I have learned from people all over the world. And to your point, Aminah, if we didn't have this technology, we couldn't be bringing people from all over the world. I mentioned this morning we had somebody from Africa and the connection wasn't that great, but it was good enough for him to get the message out. And I'm just so grateful. So thank you to you for being here. And you are a life coach and family constellations facilitator. What does that mean?
So I help people enjoy their lives to the fullest, whatever that means for each person. And we get stuck in different parts. And part of the ways that we get very, very stuck and we're not able to get out of it is for what we're caring for the family system without knowing that we're caring for the family system. We don't exist individually from each other. We connect to everyone, but especially to our family system. And unconsciously, out of this gratefulness that we have for our life and because we want to belong, we start carrying the trauma from our ancestors, the emotions, the patterns, the blocked situations, and then we start being blocked as well. So when we're able to honor and respect everybody and give them their place, then we're able to let go of the things that we're unconsciously carrying. But we also connect to them in a different way. And we start connecting to the love, to the blessing, to the energy, to the wisdom of the family system. Yes, there has been a lot of trauma and difficulties, but also there's a lot of love, there's a lot of joy, there's a lot of experience and information, wisdom from that experience. So once we're able to connect to our ancestors, we get the strength back. We're able to consciously decide not to carry what is not our responsibility, and that helps us heal and helps heal the family system. And we're able to decide what do we want for our life and ask for the strength and blessing and learn from the past, from our ancestors, to be able to enjoy our present life, but with love, with acceptance, with acceptance of everything the way it is, because life can be sometimes difficult. We have challenges, we have problems, and we cannot ignore them. We cannot have life without them. What is important is to learn like to navigate life, even though we have these situations, and to be able to enjoy the parts that we are able to enjoy, including everything, including everyone. And just like you were saying, you know, I don't want to cover anybody of these beautiful animals in the back. You know, that's the same with the family system. That's the same too with our clan, with our groups. Let's include everybody because everybody belongs. I don't want to be covering this one here because it's going to be missing, you know, and it's going to start having consequences because one part of the system is missing. So let's look at everybody with love, with acceptance, with gratitude, accepting that they are all doing the best that they can and loving them the way they are and taking what we can from our life, being responsible for our lives and moving forward for what we want, enjoying the present moment with gratitude.
Wow. So beautiful. I love that.
You would think I'd picked you personally just to give my motto out in a different language. That was great. I mean, we didn't practice any of this, people. This is what organic looks like. This is, and Dr. Jacalyn, as you know, I'm a pop in, pop out, you know, into your shows and all that. And that's what all your shows, from listening to Diane Bain. Did I actually get the name right?
Diane Bain.
She was being played on a commercial. I'm supposedly off screen, but Dr. Jacalyn didn't see me doing this because the music moved me, and that type of stuff, and whatever it is, and what Lisa, what you're talking about. My mom and dad shared me their history many times. My dad went through the Depression as a incredibly very poor family. 7 children, mom and dad both working, and they just traveled from place to place. If you go see Grapes of Wrath, I asked him, "Oh, somebody gave you the book. Great. Did you read it?" He said, "No, I lived it. Why would I want to read it?" And it just opened my eyes as a child when he said that, and say, wow, you know, we don't think that our parents have had a life as complicated and as rich and as challenging as ours. Of course not. How could they? They don't have the computer. I don't, it's not relevant, but it was a life. And if I didn't respect my father then, it sure grew, because I had just finished the book, and it was like, wow, 7 kids on a truck driving from whatever job, picking fruit, whatever job his dad could get. Yeah. I can't imagine. And then his mother dying of breast cancer because they couldn't afford the treatment. And she thought in those days that people would stigmatize her for having breast cancer. I didn't even touch that one. I'm thinking, oh my God, somebody's going to stigmatize you for having a cancer. And some people thought it was contagious then. And she died at home when he was 20. And he's the second son. So can you imagine how little his 2 brothers were? So when you share that, I think it finally got to me. I've only had to heard you say this like 3 or 4 times. What you're talking about, the family connection and that trauma that my family went through, that, you know, I do take it with me. And that's what you're teaching. Is a question I'm asking, is that's what you're teaching, is how to get past those histories? Is that a good term?
Yeah, definitely. And what you did, that's what we do. And it's beautiful, Aminah. I love it. And what you said, you know, we think of our parents and grandparents from our perspective, from our world, from our computer. And we think, why did they do this way? Why did they didn't do things differently? Why couldn't they see it the way it actually is, and that we're hurting others, and that they could have done it differently? Right. And when we think, I mean, we live in such a privileged time. I mean, it's amazing. Yes, there's problems. Yes, we have COVID, but it is beautiful. It is amazing. And we have so many resources. And if we have a problem, we go to the computer, we search it, and we have 10,000 solutions. They didn't have anything. They had nothing. There were some books that you may find in a library if you could afford it, if you can find a library, if you can find the book that could actually help you.
Or if you can read.
If you could read. But, you know, they didn't have the help. They didn't know what to do with situations when they had problems. They were stuck. They did the best that they could. There were no therapists that you can go and ask for help. I mean, the few ones that existed were for the crazy. The crazy. So if you had a problem in your life and you were struggling, tough, you did whatever you could. You did what you were watching others do around you, and you would imitate. You would do what you learned from your parents, from your grandparents. You would repeat the same because that's the only thing you knew. And there were no resources. There was no place to look for information to get help. They were alone. They were trying to figure things out. So they really did the best they could with their own situations. So we need to step out of this part of judging and criticizing them, or thinking that we would have done a better job. Because I don't know, maybe we would have done a worse job.
Exactly.
Who knows? I mean, if we really stand in their shoes, in their situation, they were doing the best that they could. And even if they hurt us, yes, we need to look at that hurt and accept that hurt and deal with our own trauma and leave the responsibility to them, but understand that in their world, with their tools, the tools that they had, with their possibilities, that they did the best that they can. And then we're able to stop judging, criticizing them, accepting them, and to be able to say thank you for what you were able to give me, even if it was only my life. Thank you. I now receive it with gratefulness and love. And I now understand that that's the best you could do with your own life, your traumas, your difficulties, your reality. I now receive what you were able to give me. And thank you. And I honor and I respect you. And then we connect to the strength. Then we connect to the wisdom. And with our parents and with everybody else, then because of these unconscious vows that we've made when we were very, very young, we can also say, and for the things that I'm carrying from you that are not mine, the emotions, the anger, the grief, the traumas, I now choose to release it. But I release it with gratefulness and love, not judging and criticizing you, thinking that you did it wrong or that I would have done it better. I do it with love, with gratefulness. I do it because it doesn't belong to me. So I let go. I let go of this grief that I'm having so strong that it's actually not mine, of this anger. And I keep whatever's mine from my life, and I'll accept it. I'll work through it, and I'll use it as a strength to learn, to grow, to be better. So that's the work that we do. That's what you were doing, Aminah, as you were thinking about your father, about his struggles, about how hard it was, and honoring him and his path, and saying, wow, it was a lot. And you know, what you did with me was what you could, from where you came from your experiences, from what you learned, what you were able to learn in your life.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And honestly, I've heard you speak now at least 4 times, at least. I'm being conservative, in different live. Those are the few, and we've worked together. I've worked with your animals and that kind of stuff. So we don't have a small time working together. And I only just came to that epiphany in this live moment.
Yeah. Exactly.
It was the time. And I really want to encourage, and Jacalyn, thank you for giving us the opportunity. And I think you would say the same thing when we've talked about just what we now consider silly, you know, like your spiders and the golf course and all that kind of stuff. But when the teacher appears, the right one, and you're ready to hear the information, because again, Lisa, I've heard you talk a lot, and I'm like, oh, I'm not really sure. I don't know what that is, but it's like, okay, it sounds really great, because you're a very good speaker and you're really passionate about what you're doing. And that's what really resonates with an empath, specifically as me. But I didn't hear you as myself until now. And that, again, I want to tell people, you just don't beat yourself up. If you're not ready for the lesson, that doesn't mean, just like what Lisa said, this is recorded. You can listen to it later. And you might be tired. You might be overworked. You might be, you just lost your job, whatever. And you can't digest that. But that's the wonder of what Dr. Jacalyn's platform to us is. These will be in infamy on some electrical channel, and you can go back and listen to them, and then you can go back and listen to the music and do that energy work, because that is energy work. Music does speak to the heart.
It's really nice that you had this this powerful insight on the live while we're streaming, which I love. So thanks for sharing that, being transparent. I have a question for you, Lisa, which is, in the work that you do with your clients, I don't know if this has come up per se, but how has the family dynamic, and again, this is general just with the people you've worked with, but how's the family dynamic changed as a result of the pandemic? Because you have little children who, they've had to wear masks, they're being homeschooled, whatever the situation is. Things have changed dramatically, especially for the younger generations. So what have you found? What has your experience been in this area about family dynamics?
So the experience is that the pandemic put a lot of pressure in the families, and in the families of husband, wife, and children, because suddenly they're all in the same place with the stress of having to be contained and like a little bit prisoners, especially at the beginning of the pandemic. And the people that are close to us are like mirrors and are showing things that we need to learn from ourselves. And sometimes it's good to have some space because we are not ready to have so much information about ourselves suddenly all the time. And this is a little bit about what happened in the pandemic. The people that are closer to us are giving us information. And sometimes we're not ready to listen, to see, to be aware of that information. So we are going to react to it with anger, with resistance. And they're going to react back to us. And what happened in the pandemic is that we were all trapped in the same room with the people that are closest to us, the people that are showing us the most. So then it put a lot of pressure. It put a lot of resistance. And I know a lot of families that had to dissolve because they realized that they were not okay with each other. And whatever happened, it's okay. If they realize that now, it's better now than in 5 years. Because that would mean that they would be living those 5 years in a way that was not healthy for them. But the pandemic did put a lot of pressure in the home dynamic. And with the people that have been able to transcend that, to learn, to see the lessons and to find ways to work, there's like a quantum leap. There's like a complete shift and change and acceptance and new strength, like this resistance that comes after having a big problem. So that's what I have observed. Another aspect that I observe is that the entanglements, and this is like the energetic bonds, the connection that we have with ancestors that suffered in previous pandemics, those got activated as well. So we started connecting to their emotions, to their anger, to their resistance, to their grief. And that was affecting as well the lives of everyone. And since it's affecting my life, then affects the life of my husband, the life of my daughter, because we're all together. And when we're all together in the same house without one going to work, one going to school, then the interactions are more often, are more this aspect that I'm telling you of having the mirror in front, we're having the mirror in front all the time. And like I said, sometimes we are not ready. But the ones that have been able to use that as information for growth, for learning, they have done complete like shifts of their lives. So that's what I have seen in the families.
Thanks so much for sharing that. That's great information. I know where I live, I walk on this path and I walk by a school, and I noticed the children outside, they're all in their uniforms. And it's just fascinating because many of them have on masks. Some don't have on masks. They're playing kickball or dodgeball, one of those games. I thought, remember when you just, when you were carefree. And then I thought, they're actually not carefree because they're living in this environment. And I saw in the corner some bullying going on with a little girl. They were really just not nice to her. And I thought, what must it be like to be a child today with, instead of being able to just go out in the playground and have fun, you've all these restrictions and regulations and fear out there. That what is that going to look like as they get older?
So, the most important part for the answer to that question is, how are the children parents dealing with that situation?
Mm-hmm.
Because if we are small children and our parents are in a way resourceful and they're trying to deal it in a way that is actually an example for us of resilient, of being able to accept the difficult part, but being able also to enjoy the part that we're able to enjoy in life. So yes, this is tough. There's a pandemic. We're at risk, and we're going to have to stay home. We're going to have to use masks. But look at now what we can do to have fun. Look at now. Let's go to the mountain and connect with the nature, with the beauty, and let's breathe in deeply and connect to your essence and relax. Yes, there's a pandemic, and we're going to do all we can to stay safe. But we're not going to forget to live, to enjoy, to have fun, to be able to enjoy the present moment right now, that we are okay and not worry about possible situations in the future that may or may not happen. So children will learn from their parents. So if their parents are stressed, in crisis, reacting with anger with every single thing because they're not being able to deal with the situation, this is what the children will learn. So the answer to your question, how are they going to be? I would say look at their parents, and that's going to give you a clue.
Thanks so much. It's a great ansor.
So
we are
glad I
going
have
to
no
take.
little children.
I know, I don't either.
All that you just said, I was like, oh my gosh.
Glad I don't have to deal with that. We are going to take a break, and we're going to watch a music video. This is from Laser Girl. And I think you've seen this before on our opening. And the song is Warrior. Let's take a look, and then we'll be right back. Hello and welcome back to USA Global TV and Business Talk Radio. I am Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck, and our show today is presenting Pet Psychic Aminah. I really want to call it Pet Psychic Aminah and Friends. Okay, we can talk about it later. And our guest
bring my
today,
whole pack. Do you see the
yes,
picture? I chose that just for you. I sent you all kinds of good mobo, jumbo, whatever ideas. Ooh, get a bunch of animals for the back.
Yeah, it looks great. It looks great. And our guest today, Lisa, so much wonderful information that you're sharing here about the importance of family, letting go of what we can't control, and embracing what our family members have done, whatever that looks like, because we're here today and we have so much to give thanks for. So I'm grateful that you're here. I'm grateful, Aminah, that you're here and that we are spending this Friday closing out the week of broadcasting here. So what were your thoughts about the song, by the way, Warrior?
Well, I know what mine are. What about yours, Lisa?
Oh, I loved it. And you know, I love to see song videos, and I haven't done it in such a long time, and I was just having so much fun. And what I understood is like, it's a mother. It's the love of the mother for the son, and how mother. So I thought, oh, this is so perfect for what we're talking about today, about the love that parents give to their kids. And you know, nobody has a kid and says, I'm gonna be a terrible parent. You know, I'm really gonna, you know, I'm not allowed to. No, everybody has a child, and this is how they feel. I'm gonna be your warrior. I'm gonna help you through life. I'm gonna do the best I can. but but life is what it is, and people struggle. But this is really what the true mother connection with a child, the love, the I'm gonna do the best I can. I'm gonna love you. I'm gonna be your warrior. I'm gonna be there for you. And then everybody actually does the best they can with their own struggles. But then I was looking at the song and I was like, this is beautiful. This is like so pure mother love of, yes, that's how mothers feel for the children.
Yes, I agree with you. And Laser Girl is the one who wrote that song and is singing the song. And it's funny because we have another video that she's done that's completely the opposite. It's very different. And something just told me to play that video today. So I'm glad that I did. Aminah, what are your thoughts?
Oh, I love it. I have the difficulty as I leaked some information to you, and I'm always sorry after I leak it, and then you ask me to say or something, which you did. So I used to perform and sing all through my up through my 20s, from the time I was about 9 until I was in my 20s. So I want to catch on and sing and dance with her and just what Liza's talking about. We're so moved by music. We find that with infants in utero, we find that they can dance from there. They've actually done films on it. They'll do a little sonogram, watch the little legs go and the whole thing. We are moved by sound, and music is a part of that sound. So I'm going to switch this back to you, Dr. Jacalyn, in this way. Why do we love the spoken voice? Why do we like the spoken word? Because I can hear your inflection. Somebody who's like me as an empath, not just an animal person, that our animals know how we feel by the energy we give off, but it's our voice that seals that deal. Our voice when we say, because you should, I'm going to call her a client. It's a lie, but it's a family member, and we're not going to out them here. But they go around and they love going up there, their pet, and going, whoa, and just seeing what they do. Because this it's a cat. He looks at her like, why do you keep doing that? Because she's been doing it so long. I just want him always flexible and always ready to go. But who wants anybody who goes up and says boo behind you every time you don't know they're there? First of all, cat does know you're there. But these are these great things that, Liza, you're talking about. And Jacalyn, what you have conquered in your platform is you're showing visual, audio, crafts, people that are making things, these are doing things. You really covered the senses. And if you really think about it, tactile is in there because we feel so strongly that you either go buy the record or you go and cook something, or for me, I hope you go hug your pet.
Yes, that's beautiful. And I feel like music lifts up our mood, and that's really important when you are in a situation where you're with other members of your family. You want to be as kind and polite as you can. I know today I woke up, it's like day 15 or 16 with eczema all over my face, and thinking to myself, how am I going to do, like, I've been a makeup artist on the side for years, not now, but because I have those skills, I'm able to appear the way I do today. And I'm standing very far back from the camera. But my point is, I just started singing. I went to my phone, I put on one of my playlists, I started singing, and I immediately felt better. My mood was lifted up. And I thought, this way I can be a better family member for my mother instead of coming out being like, ah. So I think that's the point, that when we listen to music, like, that's a beautiful song. And the message, Lisa, I love how you took that right from there, is that we can be warriors for each other. We can each be there for each other by being kind. Aminah, to what you said, somebody drops something, give it to them, open the door, do things without asking for the acknowledgement. I find it very difficult when someone wants to tell me everything they've done for me. That just, like, I know what you've done for me. You don't have to tell me. There are people like, they just want to throw it in your face. Just do it and walk away. Right. And then everyone pays it forward. We don't need the acknowledgement for what we're doing.
Right. I think that was a big point that you just made. The ones that are expecting, well, you didn't say thank you. Okay, now I don't want to. So if I might have forgotten the first time, but it's not very honest to say thank you.
And I think also when someone does something nice for you and you're aware of it, you share that experience with them. And then when they bring it up to you later and throw it in your face, it kind of like, then you look at that experience and go, wow, it's tainted because the way you just threw it in my face. So I think we should all just be a little more conscious of that, and also trying to understand where people are coming from. People are really stressed out. People have a lot on their plate, but we need to learn skills to deal with it.
Right. And Liza, that's what you're talking about, I assume.
Yeah, completely. And I was thinking about what Dr. Jacalyn just said about today. You know, she had the situation of with her skin, but we can, say, this is terrible, this is horrible, I have this situation, what am I going to do? I said, okay, I'm going to do whatever I can, and I'm going to put some music, and I'm going to dance. And this is just what I was saying. I was like, oh my goodness, such a beautiful example. Yes, we have some challenges, problems, difficulties, but yes, that's part of life. Let's dance.
Right.
Let's have fun. It doesn't mean that we have to focus on that 100%. Let's see, considering that we have this situation, how can I enjoy the parts that I am able to enjoy? So I loved your example. I was like, oh, this is so perfect.
Thank you. You know, the other thing that I also do, and maybe the two of you want to elaborate on this. So with my skin, I have it on my face and my neck, and it's on my arms. And I say to myself, well, it's not on my legs. It's not bleeding. It's not cracked. I don't have to go to a hospital. So I think I'm doing fairly well. I'll just suck it up and sing.
Right.
What about the two of you? When you have something happen to you physically or emotionally, how do you pull yourself out of it? I'll start with Aminah.
Well, I'm thinking of, I feel trapped sometimes. Like right now, I'm going through a great deal of medical and my own health issues and that type of stuff. My problem, and I actually had my family actually set me down about 6-8 months ago and said, you are not fine. You are never to repeat the word fine. You are not to use the word fine, because I'll go to doctors and they'll say, so what are you here for? Well, I have a little bit of pain and I have a little bit this, but overall I'm pretty good. And I get kicked now under the table if I say anything like that. So brutal honesty is necessary, and there's places for it. I think, Liza, you will agree, and Jacalyn, you'll agree. There are places for honesty. I am a cup half full person. I see the sunshine, I see the rain, and go, oh, my flowers are getting food, and I love it. My car's getting washed, and the birds can poop all over again. You never know that kind of stuff. So I do find the silver lining. I've been that way since I was I don't know how not to be that way. But in certain places, you have to move that part of yourself aside and say, okay, in this arena, I need to be authentic. And it's not that I'm not telling the truth or not being authentic. I actually have to be this other person. So I'm going to change that word. I have to be what that industry requires me to communicate like. So if I went to, I don't know, some kind of meeting where if I mentioned I was psychic or an empath or any kind of woo-woo weird stuff, especially certain religions, I would be walked out. I would be ignored. I would be ostracized. So you don't. What I've had to learn in especially these last 12 months, is I have to not be happy. This is really hard for me. And I don't mean it sarcastically at all. It is really hard for me to walk into the doctor's appointment and say, I have a miserable life. I'm in pain. Do something. So, because that's not the place I want to live. But I know if I'm going to get help, you have to sometimes, and Liza, I really, really want your input on this, because I'm living this every day. And you go, okay, you got to go in and say, no, this is bad. This is really bad. And I need your help. I need you, the professional, to do something about it. And that's why I'm here at this point, because I didn't get the help. First of all, I didn't know I needed it, but I also got in my own way. So Liza, how do we get out of our way? Because you're dealing with all of that past stuff, but it's taken me a long time not to be happy at doctor's appointments. And it's been really bad.
Yeah. So part of the important part, I mean, there's so many things here. So the first one is to accept what we're going through, to acknowledge it, to acknowledge our emotions. to say, this sucks. I am in pain.
Yeah.
This is hard. And just breathe. And whenever you're ready, what can I do about this?
Right.
And then, like you said, I'm going to go to the doctor, but I need to tell the doctor exactly what's going on, not
Right.
my optimistic view of what I would like it to be, but the symptoms, to see how can they help with this information, and more like the facts. And it's not like you're being pessimistic, and no, you're just telling exactly the things the way they are so that they can help you. And because we're talking about physical symptoms, the way that the first thing I do when I'm having a physical issue is that I just connect internally, and I say, if this is something that I'm carrying because an ancestor suffered with it and it's not my responsibility to carry, I now choose to release it. And I don't need to know who it belongs to, but we often have a lot of physical issues because of connections that we have from ancestors, from entanglements, from energetic bonds that we're carrying it for them. So the first thing I do is my emotions, accept what I'm going through, acknowledge it, every single part of it, breathe deeply, then connect internally. If there's anything that is not mine, to release it. And then also connecting to my center, not with my brain, but with my heart. Why is this in my life? Is there something that I need to learn from it? Is there something that this is telling me? Maybe I'm not taking care of myself. Maybe I'm not putting boundaries. Maybe I should do something different. I am now willing to learn. I am now willing to listen. And I'm open to receive whatever guidance can help me with this situation. And I'm open. And then suddenly somebody in the supermarket that's not talking to me says something about a holistic doctor. And I say, whoa, maybe that's for me. Or maybe I see an article in a magazine and I say, oh, this is calling my attention. I wonder what this would be. So I start putting attention of what can be helpful for me. What is the universe saying that can help me? And I always have the intention that I want to have the healing that's the best possible healing for me and my whole family system. Because sometimes I don't know what's best for me. Sometimes through an experience, I'm going to learn something that's so important for my life that's going to be able to transform my life. So I always have the intention to have the best possible healing for me and the whole family system, but in a way that can come into coherence in a well-paced way in my life for the greatest benefit, but also with the least suffering possible. Because I want to grow, I want to be better, but I don't want to suffer. And I can choose. So I choose not to suffer, but I want to learn. I want to expand. So each time I have a physical or an emotional situation, I go through all this process. First, acceptance of the situation, of the emotion. Then trying to see what is the situation showing me, teaching me. Is this something that I have from my ancestors? I choose to let go of the part that is not mine. And then what can I do about it? How can I do better? How can I be better in this situation? Is there something I can do? And then the last part is always not to focus 100% of the time on that situation. Even though I have this challenge, and while I have this challenge, what can I enjoy? What can I still connect to life? With what can I laugh? With what can I be more excited? Instead of focusing 100% on the problem, because that life, joy, love, connection will bring energy to that problem. So I remember whenever I can to also bring that in my life.
Wow, that's
Powerful.
a great to-do list for everybody. I hope that everybody listens, and of course we will share the video out as always. But you're right. I'm living those choices, and sometimes it's just picking up the cat and burying my face in the fur, and that's what they're good for. Liza, I hope I've got a few people in mind that are going to get your information, because I think we're missing the simplicity of just how deep what you're offering is to heal. It sounds so simple, and you go, well, what is my dad, grandmother, father grandfather, whatever, long lost cousin from 7 generations matter. But you've really connected the dots for me, really for the first time. And again, I've listened to you lots, but obviously my ears and my mind weren't ready.
Yeah. Well, thank you for sharing that too, Aminah. That takes a lot of courage to share that. We have a comment, and this is probably from someone who is on Dr. Jacalyn's Health and Wellness. So we don't know who it is because you have to give permission to use your name, but we love you being here. So let's see. Thank you for the insights. Being intentional strongly came through for me. Yeah, that's wonderful. And Liza, I also want to say that one thing that really resonated for me is that we don't bring so much focus on it. An example, I know this is true. When I start, so I'm going to change the subject quickly, but when I start thinking about my skin, I actually become very itchy because I'm giving it energy. But I've been here all day since 9:30 this morning, and I haven't even thought about it. I'm not itchy at all. So we do take our energy and put it certain places, and it gets that focus, and then it seems much bigger, much worse. Would you agree?
Completely. Yeah. And I'm not saying that you should not focus on it. What I'm saying is not all the time, because then it becomes overwhelming. Then it takes away your energy. So remember the rest. We're still alive. Let's enjoy this present moment because it's the only one that exists.
Yes.
So what can we enjoy of this moment?
It sounds like to me, and even with Aminah, what you said, that you have to acknowledge that there is a situation. You can't just put blinders on and go, oh, yeah, everything's perfect. No, you acknowledge it. You take the steps you need to address it, to seek help, but you don't have to dwell on it. You know it's there. You're working on it. But in the meantime, you're going to have fun. You're going to loosen up, have some lightness of heart, laugh, sing. One of my friends on the platform, she loves to dance. I know she's going to some kind of dance this weekend. So all these things are great because you're distracting yourself, but you're also living, and you're living in the moment.
Let me put another word to what you said, Dr. Jacalyn, because what you said was really powerful. And I want you to use the word, you're enriching your life.
Yes.
You're being the best you for yourself, but guess what? Then it's best for everybody else. You're less toxic, you're less angry, you're less whatever. You're less fat, you're less skinny, you're less whatever, green.
Just
whatever that is, but we give power to it. Just what Liza keeps saying. You hit it on the head of the nail of, we need to take our power back. There's no reason we have to be hateful just because we were around hateful people. I've seen people leave cults and you go, wow, how did you do that? One day I decided this isn't for me. This isn't what I have to do. And I've seen, I've worked with children that are abused on so many fronts. And they made a decision, even as a 12-year-old, even as a 7-year-old. That was the youngest one. It was really awe-inspiring to see the determination of, no, this is just where I'm at right now. My caregivers are not that. We're just passing time. And he went on to have just an amazing life. But he chose that life. And it was a struggle. Nobody's saying, I think, Liza, you're not saying that this is easy and you just skip on by and you go, no, this is called WORK. All spelled out.
WORK.
Yeah, there we go. Liza, I get to copyright that when you use it. First grade.
As we come to the end of our show, which always makes me sad, I just want to share a couple of other things. And I thought of you yesterday. My mom said, oh, you're not going to believe what's out back. So I went, and there was a giant iguana, but it wasn't the big one, right? I told you almost 7.
Oh, just a giant one, only 6, not 12.
Yeah. And she said, what are we going to do? And I said, we're just going to look at it and admire it, because it looks sort of like a dinosaur. So cool. So my point is that there are other beings here on this planet, right? And they're here for a reason. And
they have a right.
Yes, they have a right to be here. And we don't have the right to just decide to get rid of them because we don't like them or because we're afraid of them. We have to coexist. And I've learned that from you. And Lisa, what I'm learning from you is that we can have a lightness, we can have freedom to enjoy and not dwell, and at the same time respect where we came from and the people who brought us here, regardless of what they went through. They gave us the gift of life, and I think that's huge. Instead of like, oh, my mother, my father, this or that, or no, forget it. You wouldn't be here if it weren't for them.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, beautiful, beautiful. I love it.
I feel like we should all have a big hug.
I know.
No,
Or a prayer session or a party with confetti coming down. I mean, it was just, I mean, Liza, I know, and every time this happens, I'm like, okay, so that was the moment I was waiting for. Or, you know, I didn't know I was waiting. I didn't know I needed a moment. And then when you see those moments, you go, wow, you know, I'm going to have the most amazing day just because I've spent this time with the three of us together. It was just magical. Thank you. It was amazing.
Yes, thank you to both of you.
Thank you both for making this happen.
You're welcome.
And so I'm going to spotlight you and share with our audience how people can reach you, especially people listening on the radio. They can't read the banner, and who you'd like to contact you.
So you can reach me with my website. It's coachingandconstellations.com. And there you'll find all the information. You'll find the link to my YouTube channel. You'll find the explanations. You'll find how to make an appointment. And whoever feels stuck in their life, that they're repeating patterns, that something is just too overwhelming, that they feel that they're not living like their own life, like they're living somebody else's life. Any of these situations, somebody that's not able to move forward in life. Whoever is feeling that way can reach out. So that we can do some work, so that you can actually be unstuck, so that you can actually start flowing in your life and enjoying your life to the fullest.
It's wonderful.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. And I do want to say hello to our friend Mariska, who was the one who made the comment. She's joining us from New Zealand. So that's always fun and exciting. Yeah, we are a global platform. So thank you again for being here. It's an absolute pleasure. And I hope you'll come back and see us again soon.
Well, thank you so much for having me. And thank you for being so amazing, both of you.
Thank you.
Lots of hugs and kisses.
Yeah, I love you have got this beautiful warmth that comes from you. So keep smiling and keep spreading that joy.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Lita.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. I told you before, the sad moment for me is when I have to hit the remove button. I hate that. I always feel so mean.
They got how about the later button or next
that's
button?
Yeah.
You got to rename it because
until
this
next
isn't working.
time or something.
Yeah, until next time. Isn't that what they do on shows where they get like? Remember when we were kids and you had My Parents, Lawrence Welk, and next episode or what next channel you're watching for? I Love Lucy or something.
Yes, so many great shows we grew up with, and now we have our own show. So how about that?
Exactly. We're giving back a little deeper than the jokes and chocolates being stuffed in your mouth. And I always remember that one from My Love Lucy.
Well, Amin, it's been a lot of fun. I'm going to spotlight you and thank you for your transparency today and for always being so real and genuine. Who would you like to contact you, and how would you like them to get in touch with you?
Thank you so much. So yes, my title is Pet Psychic, and an empath means that I am very sensitive about changes, happy, sad, mad, glad. Those are strong emotions that people have. I can help with that. I also talk to people's relatives that have passed. I have no idea why my gift works the way it does. I didn't choose it. It chose me since I was born. I've been able to work with animals and plants and nature. So if you're having trouble, you're looking to adopt, I'd love to talk to you before you adopt so that I can help you, because I am a trained trainer. I have and was a certified vet assistant, and I've worked with exotic animals for a very, very long time. So I try to have a well-rounded education. If you're dealing with nature, if you're dealing with a squirrel problem or a rat problem or whatever, I do have tips. I do have lots and lots of tips. Join my social media. LinkedIn and Facebook are the two places I'm at. Of course, bridgingworlds.us has all these links and every way to contact me. And I work all hours, so it doesn't matter what country you're in. All we need is a phone line and or Zoom. That is totally up to you. I don't charge more for that. And I can help you with those transition. Is it time to say goodbye? Is it a behavioral issue? Is it allergy? Is it time to go to the vet? Because I will recommend specialist when you need that. Thank you so much for joining us. And if you know somebody who has a special story and or field, always reach out to Dr. Jacalyn's channel and of course myself, bridgingworlds.us. Best place.
Bridgingworlds.us, WORK word.
See, you're a cheerleader already.
Yay. Well, one final story, Aminah, which is we also have these large bugs down here. I think they're called palmetto bugs / roach, but they fly.
And are they the green ones or the?
No, they're black. They look like they're wearing military armor. I mean, and they have very long antenna. I don't know if there's two or. Anyway, there was one in the kitchen, and I saw it. And of course, I did what I always do, and I called for my mother. Mom! I said, we can't do anything to hurt it, but I don't want to be near it because I'm afraid of it. So she said, well, what do you want me to do? And I said, nothing, just be close by if I need you.
You don't own any old Christmas cups or a box? Or
well, I'm not going to go near it, though. I mean,
but you could put the box near it. And it would eventually crawl
I would put the box and go, there you go. I throw the box and run away. So get in the box. There you go.
Okay. So, put the box wherever you feel like it's out of your way. Add a little breadcrumb if you want, depending on the bug. It might not like it, but it might go in to just investigate. Guess what? You close the lips and you put the box outside and you open the lips, the flaps a little bit and poof, gone.
It's gone. Well, it stayed in the kitchen. I think that's a great approach. And sadly, it's no longer with us. It passed. I don't know what happened.
Oh, it chose your home to pass away.
Yeah, passed in the home.
You know what that means?
I'm afraid. No. What does it mean?
Because maybe he told his brothers, sisters, and cousins
what does
that
it mean?
He felt safe, and that was time. They know when they're going to pass, and he didn't go outside to be, consumed before he passed, but he passed with you. How nice.
How about that?
To feel safe in a carnivore's home. Wow.
See, it's all perspective.
It is. It really is. And I choose to go that way.
I like it.
If I get eaten by a tiger, just know, well, at least I probably tasted terrible, but at least I went down by, enjoying who ate me. I don't know.
Exactly. Exactly. I was very happy that my mother did the funeral arrangements and disposed of our friend. And Bob's still in the bathroom, by the way. He's been here.
Are you kidding? You have that many bugs?
He's been here like 3 weeks.
Yeah. I'm like, you have a lot of bugs in your shower.
I know. And Bob has a friend. There's actually 2 spiders. Bob is much more prominent and the other one is lighter in color. And they're both hanging out together. And I go, hi, how you doing? And that's it. So
yeah, typically it's not true in bugs as much, but the female is going to be more in camouflage, and the male will be brighter. And
that makes sense.
Yeah, because guess what she does? I got babies, I'm hiding, and you'll see that through a lot of animals. It's not true for everybody. There are some really look at peacocks specifically. What do those boys got? Nothing but flash. Just flash.
I dated guys like that.
And the girls are brown and boring because they're sitting on a nest.
Yeah, that makes sense. Well, I just wanted to share that with you that Thanks. I've learned so much from you. I'm coexisting, giving everybody their space, admiring, respecting. Please don't hurt me. That's all.
Exactly. I have a rule too. You there, me here.
Yes.
You there.
I always have that broom nearby just in case one of the iguanas gets in the house. But for now, we're in good shape. So.
See, now if you had those dogs, they could go eat them. I'm not pro that, but it would happen probably. Or at least chase them.
Well, I look forward to learning from you again next week. And I hope you have a wonderful weekend.
Absolutely. And next week, we have the absolutely fabulous famous Dottie Boone.
Love her.
She's going to answer all your questions about from hiring a $15,000 psychic, don't, to the $2 psychic, do. So
Yes.
we'll come up with those, and please call, ask your questions. You can always submit them to us early. Any of us with email, we'll have it, our links. Send it to us and we'll ask that question on air, and you can watch anytime.
Outstanding. All right. Thank you so much, my friend. I'll see you again soon.
Have a great weekend.
You too. Bye.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Well, it's the end of our broadcasting week, and I just want to give a few announcements in case you weren't aware. We now broadcast Monday through Friday, and our new website is up, usaglobaltv.com. You can do a few things there. You can book your session. So we've got a number of shows that are brand new, so you might want to check it out. And we've got some of our existing shows that we absolutely love, and you're welcome to book on any of them for you to share your story. You can also watch our shows on our website, usaglobaltv.com. You can watch our shows after they stream live. So for the live streaming, like we're doing right now, I love to send everyone to our YouTube channel, which is, can you guess? Oh, yes, USA Global TV. Exactly. Why? Because we have playlists there. So this show, I will put into a playlist, which is called Pet Psychic Aminah. And then you can find all of the shows for this show, on all the episodes, I should say, for this show under that. The next thing I want to share with you is that to keep the lights on, believe it or not, I also have my own business in addition to this, which is Dr. Jacalyn LLC. And I offer life coaching, career coaching, executive coaching, and also I teach people how to listen. This is really important to me because I believe in finding inner peace so that we can all be a part of world peace. And what I've seen since I started doing this platform, which is really the impetus for what I'm doing with the listening courses, is that people are talking over each other. People are listening so that they can make a judgment. People are listening and trying to come up with a solution that no one asked for, or people are listening and interrupting, which means all of those cases, you are not listening. You're hearing, but you're not actually listening. So with my courses, I teach people how to be an elevated listener. And when you graduate from the courses, which you have to take 2 courses, which are the foundational courses, then you get to be a guest on our show, The Listening Mentor, where we do live role plays that are about listening. And I also feature you on my website, drjacalyn.com, and you are listed as an elevated listener, and your certificate is there. And I promote you to let people know that they want to work with you. Why? Because you actually listen. And we can't be an elevated listener all the time because we have to live our life. But when someone comes to you and they want to share something, are you multitasking? Are they looking at the back of your head? Are you gazing into a television going, yeah, yeah? That's not elevated listening. And that's how frustrations start. And that's how people get angry with each other. And that's how relationships end or miscommunication. And so I want to help you to relieve all of that, which causes stress and discord in our lives. So I'm going to show you, if I can find my own promotion. Here it is. You saw it probably in the video, the power of listening. I've priced the courses relatively inexpensively so that as many people as possible can attend. We have our foundational courses, parts 1 and 2, happening again this Thursday, coming next week, the 10th at 3 p.m. Eastern time. You can take both courses together, parts 1 and 2. It's 3 hours long, and it's $257 for the 2 courses. Then you take a 7-question quiz, and when you get 100% correct, you become certified. Yes, and you become part of our team, and we feature you on both websites, USA Global TV and also drjacalyn.com. So if that's something you're interested in, please go ahead and sign up for that on my website. The next thing is I offer fitness courses. I'm a certified yoga instructor. I'm a certified meditation teacher. I actually have the privilege of a testimonial from Dina King, who is the founder of the Path Meditation School out of New York, which is where I took it. And the testimonials on my website, drjacalyn.com. So you can get fit and you can meditate with me on Saturdays. So if you're interested in that, go over to drjacalyn.com. And finally, just when you thought there wasn't anything more, my new book is coming out, Adversity to Awesome. And this is also my new television show. If you have a story of adversity that you want to share, and you are doing really amazing, awesome things in this world that are not related to capitalism, you can be doing well and be wealthy, but we want to hear stories of people who are out there helping others. Please go over to usaglobaltv.com and book your session to be on Adversity to Awesome. My book is a compilation of interviews that I have done with people who have been to hell and back. That's the only way I can say it. And I share their stories as I heard them. And in this book, Adversity to Awesome. And I also feature my own story as I told it to someone, Red O'Laughlin, my book coach. I also been through adversity, and I share that there. Okay, we have another new show, which is the film and music show. From Hollywood to Pinewood to Nashville to Broadway to West End. We are featuring singers, songwriters, performing artists, directors, producers, you name it. If they are involved in any of these industries, film and music, they're welcome to be a guest on our show. Okay, folks, I think that's enough. I'm running out of air. Just kidding. All right. Thank you all. Take care of yourselves. I'm going to do some self-care, go to Solidcore and work out, spend some quality time with my mother. You take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Please lift one another up. And anything you do to help another person is a true gift, a miracle, and you don't have to remind them of it. God bless you. Thank you for being here. We'll see you again next week.